So guys, back with another commentary here and another session. So this is the second Devolume session of this week and this technically the second training session of the week. So pretty much the same as the last session if you watched the last episode, where again I was taking off one working set of every movement, and I just came into this session with the goal of basically trying to use the same loads as I did last rotation. So for example, I usually would do 3 working sets on this flat Smith, but this session I just did 2, and I just did basically the 2 back off sets. And so I did the same weight last session, but actually I progressed. I'm not sure how many reps I did last session. I think I actually lost count with 275, but I know I did 295 for the working set for the first set last rotation. And then I did 275, and then I dropped it down to this weight. So, again, basically I just did the same weight. But, yeah, I actually did progress in reps from last rotation on this set. But it wasn't the goal, again, just like with yesterday's session, if you guys watched that video, the goal with this week isn't to take crazy progressions or anything. I'm doing less volume, ultimately also doing less intensity, not pushing all the sets quite to failure. You will see some of the sets I did kind of push to failure, but again, I'm overall doing less volume, and so that's the main thing. But yeah, with that set, I didn't quite take it all the way there. But pressing definitely felt better today. With these extra calories I've had since Saturday, I can definitely feel a difference, man. And I just feel more stable during the presses. But here's the high incline Smith. And so this was the same weight I did for the back off set last rotation. And it was pitiful. I think I only did 8 reps. But this session I actually did 10. And it actually did kind of push it. So yeah, and again, it wasn't like I had a certain rep target in mind. I just knew that I hit 8 last time with this weight, and the goal was to at least hit 8, and it felt good, so I just did a couple more reps. But overall, yeah, good sign, and I'm definitely looking forward to bringing this up, man, because this is some poverty weight. For sure, definitely poverty weight. But yeah, overall these felt good, and normally I actually start with the cable cuffed or the cuffed lateral raise on this session, and actually I did start with it today, but I just didn't film it, so I did 2 working sets there at the start and then went into the flat Smith press. But then I went to the dips, so this is my tricep press I do on this push A session typically. However, unfortunately, recently I haven't been able to find the belt so I could do weighted dips. So what I did is I just did body weight for 1 working set, and I just exaggerated the stretch and the contraction at the top to make it more challenging. So normally I do 2 working sets here, but for this week, since it's a devolume week, I just did 1, and I did push it, but again, I just tried to make the set harder since I didn't have a belt to do these weighted, which, yeah, I don't know what's up with the belt. It's been missing recently. So next time I might just go to the close grip Smith if this is the case, because it's getting a little annoying. But again, energy levels up this session just like yesterday's session. So the session so far, after coming off of the 3 days completely off the gym, these sessions after coming back have felt really good. With extra calories too, my energy levels are just better at the gym. Towards the tail end of the diet, man, this previous week, my energy levels were just down so much, man. It was I was just trying to get the session over with, and also it was almost like I was trying to rush to get to the gym because of meal timing. I didn't want to have a long gap in time between my pre-meal and then the time I actually trained, because I do have a long drive to the gym. So now it's nicer because I'm eating more calories and I'm not having to be as anal about that. But here's the cuff lateral raise, but this is the hip level height I do. So on this session I do 2 cuffed lateral raise variations, I start out with the low height, where I have the cable pulley set like all the way to the bottom. And then, later in the session, usually after the dips, that's when I'll do these, where I have it a bit higher up, the cable pulley placed a little higher. And so, yeah, they just feel super good. So I do, again, having the pulley up a little higher here challenges the length and range a little more of the delts, whereas having it really low challenges more of that, the shortened range. So that's why I would start out with that, and then later in the session I do it here where I have the pulley higher. But just 2 working sets here today, and yeah, I mean, these felt really solid. Again, not trying to necessarily push it too much. I think I did actually go up in reps on these sets from the last rotation, and it wasn't like I was trying to force it, but I was able to pretty easily because, again, I'm doing 1 less working set for all movements. But yeah, not going to these sessions crazy hyped or anything, just pretty chill. I really haven't been listening to any crazy hard music during my sessions. I think I mentioned that before, but like for my compounds, like what I will do is maybe listen to something a little more arousing. But like today, for example, I mostly listen to like some R&B stuff, some rap. I listen to a little bit of hip hop for the presses at least. But then for the isolations, I've just listened to instrumentals, just to be more present. Sometimes I feel like I get a little too distracted actually when I'm listening to certain songs, like usually faster paced songs, usually like a lot of hip hop stuff. I like to save that now. Recently, at least, I've been doing it where I've been saving like the harder music, the harder songs for like the harder exercises, I guess you could say. And then like for isolations, I've really been more mindful of just listening to like instrumentals. But I did 2 working sets here opposed to the normal 3 for the tricep extension, and I definitely saved reps there. I was pretty far from failure. But I really didn't know what weight I was going to use because I used a different handle for that tricep extension, and I also took an extra long rest time before that set because I had a guy stop me and ask me about my tripod, so I had like a longer conversation there. But overhead extension here and 2 working sets here, nothing too special about that. Just one of my favorite overhead extension variations, the cable overhead extension. And so, yeah, if you guys have gone through these workouts, you've seen, this push A, the last push A I did, look very similar. I keep the same movements from push A to push A, from push B to push B, from pull B to pull B, pull A to pull A, legs A to legs A, legs B to legs B, and just try to progress over time. When you're in this game for the long run, you got to embrace the boring stuff. You got to embrace the monotony, if you want to see real progress. If you want to see real progress, you don't need to be switching things up all the time, doing these random workouts just for novelty. But you need to have a plan. You need to be able to track your progression and know whether you're actually moving forward or not. And for me, it's enjoyable. I like to have that structure there, so I don't have an issue with the boring stuff, you could say. But ended off with these, which hanging leg raises. You guys have actually not seen me do these before, and I don't do these a lot. But normally what I do is I end off the push A session with the ab crunch machine. Usually I do the ab crunch machine for 3 working sets. It's a devolume session, so I just did 2 working sets, but somebody was on the machine, so I did the hanging leg raises for 2 sets. And as you can tell, I'm not very strong at these. They're pretty challenging, especially when you don't normally do them. But I did 2 working sets there, and yeah, that's that. And that was the session. So you guys saw everything I did except the cuffed laterals at the start. But a very nice, refreshing session. It's good to be back in the gym. It's good to actually be able to now push more weight, and actually progress. So had a good session, and now about to go by this Walmart. It's like right next to the gym and pick up a few sauces because I have like almost no sauce. Dang, why is this so bright? This looks super bright. Here we are. What are we going to get? Boom. I don't think I've tried this one out, so let's see what it's like. Boom. So this is what I picked up from Walmart. I wanted to get some more sauce because I was almost out. So I'm actually gonna try this one out. I don't think I've ever had this one, but I really have been enjoying this brand, Melinda's. So they got some pretty nice low-calorie sauces. This one's really good though. I've had it before, the black truffle. And then pretty basic barbecue sauce. And then brought back the dark chocolate, which I haven't been eating recently. It's been a while, man. But 2023, this was the move. During prep, this was the move, man. So the post-workout meal is here, and yeah, switching it up a little bit from the typical meals you saw during the diet. So check this out. Squash zucchini. Look at this, it's oatmeal. There's cinnamon, Splenda, pink salt, blueberries, and there's actually some of that dark chocolate melted in there. And then we got potatoes, chicken, peppers, tomatoes, seasoned of course, and I added the black truffle sauce. This sauce is really good, man. So another solid session in the books. Looking forward to tomorrow's pool session as well. That should be another good one. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to gaining some momentum on this gaining phase. And yeah, I really want to do some things I've never done before in the gym. That's the goal. You know, the rest of this year is an opportunity for me to really actually improve, because to be honest, you know, I competed last July and I didn't really make a ton of progress after that. You know, the rest of 2023, I didn't really make a ton of actual improvements. And then we had, you know, a lot of 2024 where up until this point, I haven't really made any improvements since my show, to be honest. So this is an opportunity for me to really grow. So I'm looking forward to what's to come. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't, and, you know, feel free to give me some feedback.